I now want to introduce our keynote speaker for this morning. You know, every time I see her, I have a smile on my face. I know this woman is kind of different. She is special. And actually, I didn't meet her until I'd visited her school a few times. It was her kids that I met that told me that if I were ever to do this conference, she's going to be one of the key speakers. She was actually scheduled to be in the US. In fact, she has a 2:30 international flight to catch today. But, you know, I'm quite persuasive. I coaxed her, I cajoled her. I was in the US sending text messages to Neelu ma'am. And at KIC, we really choose not from the head, but from the heart. The left, I'm a math teacher, so I existed in the left brain all my life. But I've learned to move to the right brain and to the heart thanks to my teachers, where we can work from the heart. And Kiran is somebody who instinctively came as the person who would come. I called up a lady yesterday who knows Kiran since she was 18 years old. I said, give me a secret about Kiran. You know, I wanted to get something out, but then I said, I'm going to stick to a script because this one's it's not a good idea. Her work speaks for itself, but I'm reading from a piece that Neelu ma'am has written for her. Kiran Sethi is a designer who became a teacher, a principal who grew into an education reformer and social entrepreneur. Her interest in education began when she observed the kind of education her son was being provided. She noticed that the word choice did not exist in his vocabulary. Every time he deviated from the textbook or tried to take charge of his own learning, his teachers would punish him. She also realized that the same was true of most students in India. Using her background as a designer, Kiran focused on identifying the right problem and uninspired and irrelevant pedagogy and curriculum before developing her solution, the Riverside School, which was founded on the banks of the Sabarmati River in Ahmedabad in 2001. She integrated her knowledge on of the design thinking process into creating an educational experience that is embedded in common sense. The Riverside School's lesson plan focuses on creating curious, competent future citizens. The school now has a full capacity strength of 400 students. For the past several years, Kiran has been employing design thinking to develop solutions to some of the most pressing social problems in India. In early 2009, Kiran launched Design for Giving School Contest, a national campaign that encouraged school children across India to participate in a one-week project to change some aspect of life in their own communities. The contest drew the involvement of 32,274 schools across India and hundreds of thousands of school kids. Participants entered as school teams represented through a classroom, grade, or school. In 2010, the Design for Giving contest was renamed the Design for Change School Challenge and went global, reaching 25,000 students in more than 20 countries. In 2011, the impact was even greater. The Design for Change School Challenge was implemented in 30 countries, inspiring over 300,000 students. Today, Design for Change is implemented in 43 countries, ladies and gentlemen, in 43 countries across the globe, impacting over 2 million young children and inspiring 60,000 teachers to make their students believe in the I can spirit that Kiran brings with her. In 2009, she was presented with the Call to Conscience Award from the King Center at Stanford University for the citizenship liberalization curriculum that Riverside School implements. There's a long list of awards that she's got. She's a TED speaker, she's a champion, she's a lady with a golden heart. I'd like to now welcome our keynote address speaker for IC3 2016, Kiran Bir Sethi. And I finally give her her plaque.
Yes.
We need a picture, a little formal.
I have to thank my mother, my father.
She cannot be formal, so just there you go. Flowers for
Okay,
you.
sorry. Oh, hello, you've taken my papers also. Okay, we like, sorry. Hello, everybody. Yes, I have a flight to catch, but this has been, I think you just have to see Ganesh's eyes when he speaks. And I think all of it comes together. I'm a strong believer in eyes. I think the words might speak whatever, but if your eyes shine and they sparkle, it kind of tells you what your soul is telling you. And I think that is so evident in Ganesh. So, Ganesh, thank you so much for pulling off this one of a kind. Congratulations to you. Since this is a conference on how we will shape our children's future, allow me to introduce you to the reason I am here today. I represent the Riverside School and my wonderful team here. And most importantly, I represent my children. So I'd like for you to meet some of them. I joined Riverside in 2001. So I joined when school started. So I have seen Riverside grow as well as grown with Riverside. Right from me being all confident, right from me choosing the fact that I want to do dance when I grow up, and right from changing lives, right from speaking up for myself, it's all because of the school. One thing that I have been able to pass on is feel, imagine, do, share. So every time, wherever I'm going, I keep talking about how we've been provoked to change life and how it matters, how it makes a difference in your life as well as others' life. And I'm doing what I really like doing. So that's the best thing.
The way that Riverside has really empowered me is by giving me the confidence and fearlessness to actually make choices that are not always conventional and are not considered orthodox. I'm working right now. I'm doing what I love, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people asking me questions like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And I'm okay with not even knowing that completely because Riverside has given me that. It's given me enough to know that I will figure out my way and I will find my way.
It was a place that transformed me from what I was and from what I expected out of life.
It shapes us in a manner where we can just be ourselves.
I'm very logical in my thinking because of this school. The four-step process of feel, imagine, do, share. The beauty of this is that it can be applied anywhere. I am doing computer programming right now, where I know what I have to do, I know what I have, and now I know what to build on.
I had an interview at Microsoft for an internship. 3 people got accepted out of those 25, out of which I was one. I was the only freshman. They could see who I was. They got an idea how I will be when I come for an internship over there.
I graduated a student who knows what his passion is and knows the amount of effort it takes to stick by that passion.
Riverside was a place where I could feel like it was home, where I could study for studying sake and not just to get good marks and get good percentage or go to a good college, a reputed college.
It is okay not to know something. It is okay to try and fail, but it is essential that you keep on trying. So that and that grit element that you can never know enough, that you can never be good enough, you can always be better, is something that Riverside has put into me that I find unique.
Wow, so it's been 15 years and I think I've spent 10 of my best years of life in Riverside. I'm in Berlin doing something I truly enjoy. And I think right from taking the decision of making films to tell stories, then being here and making social, emotional and academic choices, I think that there hasn't been like a single moment when I haven't taken ownership of everything I'm doing here. So yeah, thank you.
That's really the start of the conversation that we will all have. I'm going to start my story with a little, my talk with a little story. I think all of you are familiar with it. It's the story of the three little pigs. As we all know, there were three little pigs, and when they were ready to leave the house, Mama Pig said, "Be careful, be safe, build a strong house, because there is a big bad wolf out there." We all know the rest. The first little pig was a little lazy, made a house of straw. What happened? The wolf came, huffed and puffed, and blew the house down. If you like the simple sanitized version, the little pig ran to his brother's house. If you like the darker one, of course, he was eaten up. Now, we all know what happened to the second pig. Though he built a house of sticks, the wolf came, huffed and puffed, blew the house down, and the two little pigs ran to their big brother. And now, this is where it gets interesting. The third pig, we are told, had learned a lot while living with his parents. He saw his father and mother work hard through the winter times. He helped his parents build their house. And so he acquired all the skills, which he put to good use, and built a house of bricks. The wolf tried his best to blow the house down. Oh, he huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed, and he finally gave up and became vegetarian. So why am I sharing this in a career and counseling conference? Well, you see, our children are not little pigs, but there are wolves in the world. And every child that will graduate will meet these wolves of pressure, conformity, uncertainty, fear, and confusion. So how will we ensure that our children build such a strong foundation that no wolf will ever bring them down? I would like to believe that this is our shared mission. I, and neither a Riverside, an expert in counseling. In fact, I'm certain the people sitting here know far more than all of us did. I think you're better equipped to give advice on college preparation and career choices and test preps and SATs and all of that. I'm here but to share with you what we at Riverside have learned about this role that counseling plays in our children's life. And boy, we were not prepared for it. We were not prepared to be educator, disciplinarian, advocate, counselor, therapist, nurse, friend, enemy, confidant, and surrogate mother all at the same time. And this, not for one day, not for 1 month, not even for 1 year, but for 15 years of our children's life, every day till today. And this is what my 20 minutes is going to be with you. I would like to share with you 4 simple lessons that we have learned about the word counseling. The 4 lessons that have helped us equip our children to face the wolves that they will meet. Ladies and gentlemen, the very first one. You cannot be serious about a hobby. That's wolf number 1. The word hobby was coined by adults. It has nothing to do with children. For children, it is about loving what they do. No ulterior motive, no agenda. And horror of horrors. Through this terrible world called hobby, they learn to collaborate, reflect, challenge each other, problem solve. All the skills we claim that we are equipping our children with. But we adults get in the way because we believe that we know better. So when they are 7 years old, we are the same adults who call our children in front of Auntie Ji and Jitu Kaka and tell them, "Beta, beta, dance." And when they're 17, we tell them, "Seriously? Dancing? Singing? What will Auntie Ji and Jitu Kaka think?" Yeah, and we don't see our children's hearts shrivel up. And the wolf of fear and conformity wins. Over the years, we at Riverside have learned to celebrate all our children's passions with equal compassion. Here is a small example of this. You will meet my 5-year-olds who took up the challenge to design jewelry to raise money for their older buddies who were working with the hospital that had children with cancer. In this video, you will see them learn their math and their science and all of that. Yes, of course. But you will also see them teaching us adults the biggest lesson, that learning is the best lifelong hobby. Sam.
Archana ma'am is a jewelry designer and she has put up her jewelry exhibition. Then we thought that we could also make this kind of jewelry. Then we told Kiran ma'am about it. Kiran ma'am told us that
you can do an exhibition.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So we said yes, but Kiran ma'am asked us that no, you can't do it, you can't do it. But we said no, we can do it. So she told in 10 days, I want 5 jewelry pieces. So we started looking at different materials and we created our jewelry. But when we did the exhibition, Kiran ma'am didn't like our jewelry pieces.
I want this necklace. Look at the size of these beads, right? And look at your pattern. Why not wear it? It's too tight.
So nobody came and asked Kiran, what kind of design you like, what colors you like?
So we did a survey and asked different teachers which color do you want, where you will use it. For putting up our second exhibition, we went to some stores and some exhibitions. In the second exhibition, we got lots of advance orders. But when the ma'am started using the jewelry pieces, the anklets broke. So then we were looking at quality.
I want you to check this hook and I want you to check that hook and tell me why your ma'am is saying this is good quality and that is not. Here you are.
And we went to the shops, we were comparing and we understood what was quality. We went to NID, what kind of tools they use to design or what material they use.
Now what is the number? 122 rupees. So whenever you write money, rupees has to be written, it's compulsory.
So we thought that we can help heal by selling our jewelry. Then we had made many designs, lots and lots of jewelry pieces. For earrings, anklets, hairbands, necklaces. Then we put up a stall in an exhibition at Rajpath Club. We were happy that we could make money and then we could give it to the heal people. Customers were not believing that we have made this jewelry.
You can all place your advance orders, I'll take. Ladies and gentlemen, wolf number 2. Tell, instead of listen. This is a wolf that we adults find very difficult to control. We love talking, giving advice, offering opinions, and solving everybody's problems. I guess that makes us feel important and useful. We like to believe that we know best, and without our valuable insights, where will our children go? We started with this mindset till we realized that counseling is about listening. Not to the words your children are telling us, but to the light in their eyes, the hidden meaning in their voice, the subtle movement in their bodies, and most importantly, what they're not telling us. We heard them say the words engineering, like you'll meet Anosh, but his eyes are telling us adventure sports. This is a wolf we had to slay, to realize that from our children, we will be taught. The second story is the wisdom that resides in every child. For 2 hours every week, our 15-year-olds spend time with children diagnosed with cancer. Though their interactions bring smiles and reduce the pain of the children they serve, the one lesson they are learning that you cannot change anybody's life without it changing your own. So they taught us to listen with our hearts.
In Key Stage 3, one of the main ideas that we are understanding is the idea of persistence.
Our persistence idea is called HEAL, where we work with children suffering from cancer. When I saw that a child had a tumor in his eye, that image truly bothered me a lot. And that stuck with me, and that changed me.
So now that we knew what really bothered us, we formed a core team and we started working towards that. So we wanted to achieve 3 aims. One was the smiles, which we wanted to see smiles on the children's faces. Second was distraction, because they go through pains, through those drips and injections that go inside their body every single day. We wanted these little tiny moments, happy moments for them in their life. Third was transformation, because their ward is very dull. They have cartoons with no heads. So what we did was we wanted to decorate and make the space more brighter with their own work, which they could see every day in their wards.
We've planned lots of different activities and they're based on non-craft and craft activities. And the kids always wait for Saturday interventions. So even we also wait to meet them, they wait to meet us. The moment we are entering, they would all come, they would enjoying and they would smile and they would laugh. And even the parents would, for that much of time, they would be relaxed and they would sit back and just watch their child happy. And that's what even the parents liked about HEAL.
अभी यहाँ आते हैं तो यहाँ बच्चों को खिलाता है तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है 2 दिन का जिंदगी ही सही मगर बच्चा अच्छा से खेल कूद के तो अपना जिंदगी बिताए।
मेरा नाम मोहम्मद शाहरुख है। मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया था रिक्शा से और मुझे कैंसर की गांठ हो गई थी पैर में। कोई नहीं आया जब तक 8 महीने से हूँ मैं यहाँ पर, अब तक कोई नहीं आया, पहली बार आई हूँ।
We wanted to persist with this idea for even longer time. And one of the main things that was restricting us was the finance. The best way to raise some funds was to finally put up an auction.
25,500. 30.
We adolescents are very quick to change our mind, change our interests, change our passions. But I guess one thing we've truly learned is that change takes time.
The third wolf, the one that I've experienced, marks equals passion. This is a wolf that consumes all logic. It's very sneaky. It works on appearance rather than substance. I would like to believe that a lot of you here, my age that is, have probably succumbed to this pressure. Let me share with you my own story. 35 years ago, if you happened to be good in studies, you had only 2 options, engineering and medicine. And I'm sorry to say I was a topper. No one ever told me in my entire schooling that I was not good in math because I got the marks. So, in 11th, I joined science and I spent a year of torment and trigonometry till I had good wisdom and I went to the National Institute of Design. I remember my mother telling me that a lot of her friends and all my wonderful aunties offered all those, oh, Asha, your daughter's in NID. She is not very bright, is it? Yeah, that's what we do, right? Like I said, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Our parents need counseling for this. For we have to keep telling them. In fact, at Riverside, we keep finding that we keep telling them the difference between their children being markable and their children being remarkable. That is what counseling needs to keep reminding its children. And then, at the end, the 4th lesson. You practice what I preach. Oh, we love that. Here again, I would like to share with you a small little anecdote. All of you are familiar with this. This is on Gandhiji. He was at the ashram when a lady came with her son. And he said, Gandhiji, please tell my son to stop having sugar. So Gandhiji said, please come back after 1 month. She comes back after 1 month. And Gandhiji, with a little twinkle in his eye, says, Beta, sugar is very bad for you. Please stop. So the mother was slightly annoyed. She said, why didn't you tell this to him a month ago? He said, but I had to stop having sugar myself. One lesson we have learned at the school is this. You cannot lead or counsel from positional authority. Not for your team, not for your parents, and most certainly not for your children. We find ourselves constantly telling our children, be brave, be bold, follow your heart, follow your passion. And yet, we rush to the staff room and close the door on our children the moment we have free time. So, for 15 years, imagine, we have them with us. It's a massive opportunity. Our children must see the school and all its team committed to a purpose higher than just success in academic scores. Riverside expects, let me rephrase, Riverside demands that all its children will engage with life through service, through the right to education that we've implemented, through approach, which is an initiative to make cities child-friendly, and of course, through design for change. All this is an attempt to cultivate this I can mindset with which they will graduate with, helping them understand that they're not entitled to this life. They are expected to make life better by doing good and doing well. Children must take pride in their school. They must understand the school is not vying to be the best school in the world, but a best school for the world. Yeah? Because the greatest lesson we have learned is that the best counseling is role modeling. And then no wolf will ever take them down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, but I would like to introduce you to Riverside School.
Well, I've actually known about Riverside and the work of Kiran Bir Sethi for some years. There are two things that really struck me about the school, and I visit many schools all around the world. First of all, the children's understanding of the school, and not just liking what happens there, or probably sometimes not liking it, but being able to participate, to have their own views, to be able to explain why things are done. The other thing which I think really makes this school exceptional is the giving.
Oh, we're stuck in time.
What makes this school exceptional is the giving.
Let me see whether we can play this. Yeah, okay, so let me just show you just this one then. Okay, let's just show you the design for change bit, which is really the most important bit.
Unfortunately, most ministers of education today are so consumed with science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and having higher test scores that they forget that at the end of the day, if we don't have people of good character, people who do the right thing, intellect in itself will destroy the world. It will not save it. So here's to design for change.
So that's what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. So apparently I'm supposed to stay for some Q&A. Yes? Okay. Questions, questions, questions. Most gratifying moment? I think you will meet a lot of them today. I believe when you see your children understand that their role in life is to add a surplus and to believe in that, I think there's no greater gift in that. I don't think it's been which college they got into. That is not for us a very exciting proposition. Yeah, I mean, that's the easy part. I think what they do with what the skills and lives are, I think that's for me important. I keep saying, I think the greatest success of Riverside will be my boys will be fantastic husbands. My mothers will be great mothers. So I think those are indicators of how well the story which we shape when they're young with us goes on into life. I think that would be great. How do we train our teachers? We line them up and whack them every day. Well, I don't think it's training. I think, like I said, I keep saying a lot of what, I keep using this word, contagious is a good word. Whatever you have, the person in front of you will get it. You have a cold, the person in front of you will get a cold. If you have passion, they're bound to get that. If you're apathetic, concerned, worried, and dispassionate, they will get that too. So I think it's a lot about role modeling. The idea that you have to be the person that you want your teachers to be inspired by also. So at school, like I said, a lot of the things we've done is we've given away or removed any barrier that comes between us and the child or us and each other. So there is no principal's cabin, by the way. Yeah. My steps are my principal's cabin. You come, we will have a coffee and tea under one tree. I think the idea is remove as many barriers between your vision and the person you want to implement the vision. So barriers come from ego, barriers come from power, barriers can come from I know better than you. Have a sense of humor, a good one to start with. Yes, sir.
So my question is, have you tried to address this to the central board? That we should have a curriculum which makes sense rather than which is out of fear. For instance, my kids, my son in the 4th standard, was taught that Excel is a spreadsheet. He thought it's something that you spread on your bed. So what is the point having stuff like that? Did you ever address this to the board?
No. I think very, very relevant question. That's one of the reasons Riverside was born, right? My son, I remember going to school when he was in school. You will meet my son later in the day. But I remember going to his school and I asked excitedly, I said, tell me about my son. No, tell me, Baba, what does he like doing and everything? And she looked at me and she said, what roll number is he? And I realized, my God, at 5 years of age, my son didn't have a name. That's it. He'd become a roll number and was not a role model. And I keep thinking that, right? So Riverside was born out of questioning those very premises. Luckily, yes, and you say that we're one school. But I think one of the things that we'll be able to carve over 15 years is a presence, an influence. And I think that's an important piece for a school to be. As you saw when I talked about it, a school should be not a best school in the world, but why to be a school for the world? What can its initiative, its programs be that shape the next narrative? And all I can say is it's been a long story. It's not easy to shift that whole piece, but we've created some measure of a dent. The fact that Design for Change is now in 44 countries, it's the biggest movement of its kind. The narrative is shifting, that children are not just academically smarter than the next 5th grader, but they are being spotlighted for being kind and generous and empathetic. So I believe that those are choices that can now come into our frame of reference. We don't have to be scared anymore. And I think the big piece is that leadership has to be absolutely shameless. And if we have enough shameless people, we'll change that story also.
Thank you.
Yes. While you're getting that, I have to find that. I cannot not show you that wonderful 1 minute. You continue asking.
Yeah, actually this is one of the normal questions everybody asks. You are starting a new thing and you wanted a change and things like that, and how did your parents respond to it? That's something which everybody wants to know, possibly the people who are running the schools. Like,
how did parents respond to it? Well, I have to also admit that I started slow. I was in no hurry. The team and us were very clear that we are going to have the luxury of time on our hands. So I feel sometimes what happens, we buck the system. New schools start from pre-kindergarten till grade 7. And then there's always this exit exam hovering over their heads. Oh, we have to have the results. So I think we got lucky that way. We didn't have to worry about it. I just needed children. We had 25 children when we started Riverside School. Idhar udhar aa gaye the. I'm sure a lot of children came to me because they didn't get into any other school. It didn't matter. It just didn't matter. We needed children. And then over time, we were able to create a collaborative spirit of the culture. We had time, right? 25 children ke saath, you can have time with 25 parents. With 300 parents, where do you get the time? So over time, those 25 became our advocates. And we had another 20 in, and then another 20 in. Right? So I think because of that organic and simmering growth, the culture became very strong. Today, if you ask me, there's come a time when we don't even have to give a report card to a parent. Because the visibility of who they are is so apparent that we become partners. Yeah? So I think we just continue to do that. Any person who's starting a school, I will strongly recommend, please, we don't need to do the wrong thing right. Yeah, so don't start. It doesn't make it right. That's my 2 bits.
Can I ask you, personally, what is the next most exciting professional thing you're going to move into?
Next
in your
most
story?
exciting? Profession?
In your professional life, yes.
Sorry.
What are you thinking professionally next?
Oh,
for you,
professionally.
Yeah, in your.
I want to learn all the Govinda songs and dances. Now, I think we're on an exciting piece. And to answer your question, Mansoor, I've realized a couple of things. That if we have a program that is working in a school, it's our ethical responsibility to share it. And that's why Ganesh's vision resonates so much with us. We are shameless in sharing. Open source stuff, come and take whatever pictures you want, take it. My God, it's so wonderful because it keeps us creative and nimble. The idea is that we're not saying, oh my God, that's the last idea I'll ever have, so please don't take it. We're saying, by all means, take it. So what we're doing this year is creating and documenting everything we've done at Riverside and putting it on an online platform. So it's kind of like a box of Lego bricks, which you will get. So every little piece is there, and you can follow the manual if you want, but you can pretty much create whatever you want. And you can build your I Can school. Yes?
I had the honor to visit your school last Friday with some colleagues, and you watch the videos, and probably your, especially university reps, you know, you always show the best. But honestly, walking and talking to your kids was probably one of the most rewarding experiences that I had as traveling through all these schools. So congratulate you and congratulate your staff. But with that question with the parents, what about the kids when they are talking to their friends and there's like, they're doing this and this to get to universities. How are you handling those approaches as well?
Yeah, we've had 4 batches graduate, so we're still a young school. And I know that the first 2 batches got a very different kind of counseling than now. In fact, my team now, and Ankita is here, who heads our counseling department, the work that Deepa, in fact, my school leader, and Ankita do is now a lot more intimate, a lot more, I would say, structured. But I love the fact that we can keep it structured on one hand and get all the colleges in and the regular pieces that college counseling needs to have. But I think what really works is that one-on-one. The fact that these team members are role models. If we're talking about passion, we're talking about following, we're talking about belief, because they're countering the wolves of parents also saying, no, we both are doctors and you want to do architecture, how can I help you? We've had all of those. We've got all of those case studies where parents have not been able to understand what their child is getting into, where parents have insisted they do this, but we've navigated and got them into do what they have. Have we been successful 100% time? By no means. But man, we're making a proper effort for every child. And we have the size to our advantage. We have the numbers. We have 25 children graduate every year. So we're doing our damnedest best that their passion becomes their profession and they make the world a better place. How's Ariman doing? Sorry?
He's just been elected as class rep for the entire batch.
I know, he came and told me that.
So much like Ed, I'm a big fan of your school, and I like the concept of the libraries because children of a certain height can't reach shelves, and you built libraries for them, which is great. The question I have for you is, your school's becoming a brand, because the more I hear schools in this country, obviously, one is the traditional boarding schools and the old schools. In the newer categories, everyone's talking about Riverside. So how do you deal with growth? Because you have 25 kids graduating, but once your school becomes the Riverside School to go to, you have more and more applications, you have more and more kids who want to come here. So do you still remain small, or do you bring in more teachers? So what's the plan with growth with your school?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lots of things. In fact, growth has come in multiple ways. So I keep saying, scale doesn't necessarily have to be numbers, right? And I remember in the 10th year of Riverside, I happened to meet my hero, Howard Gardner. And I asked him, I said, Howard, we've got a lot of inquiries coming saying we want to have 400 Riverside schools, et cetera, et cetera. And there was a conundrum. I mean, should we go that route or what? Because we personally, as a team, love the act of refinement. We're constantly a work in progress. We never have the answer, and that's the fun part of it. So there's a constant refinement. So he said one thing, and I think that was my greatest learning. He said, Kiran, excellence is scale. And I think that's a marvelous lesson. The idea that excellence can be a game changer. And the idea to keep Riverside as a school, it's nimble. I need it to be small. Otherwise, you need to have permissions, etc. We don't want any of that. So the nimbleness of Riverside continues because of the work we do. But the fact that we're responsible to a much larger audience and the service we do comes through the right to education, through approach, and through design for change. And now the ICANN school. So Riverside will continue to stay in pursuing excellence as the goal. Because today, you know about Riverside, it's just one school on the banks of Sabarmati River. It's so great because we're diagonally opposite Gandhiji's ashram. I'm telling you, there's something in that soil there. If there's a last question, if there isn't, then one, yes. Then I have to show you that movie. Oh.
Kiran, thank you for being here. You share a lot of our love and joy of teaching. How do you meet the challenges of a Marx-driven society that we live in? And
by making remarkable driven society.
Yeah, but you know, we still live in a society where marks do matter. So how do we as children-loving teachers make that difference?
Okay, I didn't share that slide because I didn't think the forum was for that, but Riverside children outperform the top 10 schools in India in math, science, and English because of the curriculum. So what I'm just trying to say is, believe. They will, I think what we keep forgetting is by reducing their world into four walls doesn't make them, like I keep saying, making a children good in school is the worst reason to run a school. Right? And I think our definition of success has to change from cent% results because that's the easy part. I'm a living example. I got great marks in math. Nobody ever told me that that was not my passion. And 35 years ago, all of us, from my age at least sitting here, have gone through miserable lives. Right? We wake up every morning, shriveled hearts, terrible husbands, wives, terrible parents. Then we kind of that cycle keeps going on because we're fearful. And I think fear was a strong wolf that we will encounter again and again. And I think that's really what has to be the story. If we are not confident, we keep saying society demands marks. Boss, we are society. They're not a strange, different species. We are it. This is it. So we collectively, look at the power that resides in this group, in this room today. If we don't change that narrative, nobody else is going to. They don't have a chance, our children then. Right? And for our children, man, we must stand tall. Absolutely. Sometimes it's against the parents, sometimes against themselves sometimes. But we have to be that. I think we are the ones. I mean, it's such a huge opportunity. Yeah, so don't worry about it. And I'm telling you, in 10 years' time, nobody will care a damn whether you have your marks. In fact, look at the sad report card of India. 79, I think, % people are unemployable after 4-year degrees. We're doing a rotten job. So let's change the narrative. Let's be braver. Let's be courageous. Let's stand for our children and walk with them and tell them that the world that they will shape will be better. Yeah? No more questions? Please, I have to show you the movie because it's got Amitabh Bachchan. How can we not see Amitabh Bachchan? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I end. Let me do sneak preview and see he's there. Yes, he's there. Okay, last one. Please enjoy. Hi, hello.
This is the only NGO initiative that I have heard of in the world where once the initiative is announced, the power is transferred totally to the children.
I love about this conference is the fact that it's completely student-led. Children leading the world, and you see that happen at this conference.
Just look at them. You think these are just children? Think again. Because these children have great power. They have the power to reduce the weight of their school bags, the power to care for the elderly, the power to stop child marriages, the power to build dams. And how are they doing this? They're doing this with the two most powerful words in their vocabulary. I can.
And we said it before Obama.
At Design for Change, we don't see them as children. We see superheroes, a new generation of superheroes. And these superheroes are telling us that they are not the future, they are the now. So what are you waiting for?
Please get all your chin to take part in Design for Change. I did it. Thank you, everybody.